This May, as we continue our rhythms together, I want to take us back to a passage that we recently looked at on Sunday morning, but I want for us to sit with it a little longer as we move through this month. In the story, Paul finds himself in Athens. He's waiting for his companions, and in the process, he's struck by what he sees around him. Listen to what it says in Acts chapter 17, beginning in verse 16. While Paul was waiting for them in Athens, he was greatly distressed to see that the city was full of idols. So he reasoned in the synagogue with both Jews and God-fearing Greeks, as well as those in the marketplace day by day, with those who happened to be there. A group of Epicurean and Stoic philosophers began to debate with him. Some of them asked, "What is this babbler trying to say?" Others remarked, "He seems to be advocating foreign gods." They said this because Paul was preaching the good news about Jesus and the resurrection. Then they took him and brought him to a meeting of the Areopagus, where they said to him, "May we know what this new teaching is that you are presenting? You are bringing some strange ideas to our ears, and we would like to know what they mean." All the Athenians and the foreigners who lived there spent their time doing nothing but talking about and listening to the latest ideas. Paul then stood up in the meeting of the Areopagus and said, "People of Athens, I see that in every way you are very religious. For as I walked around and looked carefully at your objects of worship, I even found an altar with this inscription, 'To an unknown God.' So you're ignorant of the very thing that you worship. And this is what I'm going to proclaim to you. The God who made the world and everything in it is the Lord of heaven and earth and does not live in temples built by human hands. He's not served by human hands as if he needed anything. Rather, he himself gives everyone life and breath and everything else. From one man he made all the nations, that they should inhabit the whole earth, and he marked out their appointed times in history and the boundaries of their lands. God did this so that they would seek him and perhaps reach out for him and find him, though he is not far from any one of us. For in him we live and move and have our being. As some of your own poets have said, we are his offspring." I want to take us back to this story for a couple of reasons. One, for us to recognize the boldness of Paul in this moment. If you go back just a couple chapters, you'll see that before this moment, Paul has literally been running for his life. He's recently been thrown in prison. He's been run out of several of the towns that he has visited, which is why at the beginning of this chapter, he's waiting for his companions to arrive. He's been threatened at every turn. His life is in danger at every turn. And now he finds himself, when you look at where this takes place, the Areopagus, this takes place in the shadow of the Acropolis, one of the greatest symbols of power that was known to the world at that point. Even now, if you visit the Acropolis, it's overwhelming. You're amazed by its size. You're amazed by its design. It's the ultimate of human power. And now, as he finds himself in the shadow of this incredible display of power, he doesn't even hesitate to share the truth about who Jesus is. If there's any time where he should have been terrified for his life, it's this moment. But he doesn't even hesitate. The other thing that I wanted to challenge us with is what it says in the very first verse. While Paul was waiting for them in Athens, he was greatly distressed to see that the city was full of idols. As he's fleeing for his life and he encounters this city of Athens, his heart breaks for what it is that he sees. And I want for us to sit with this month, to challenge ourselves. Is my heart breaking for those around me that I see chasing all the things that the world has to offer, as opposed to experiencing what it is that God has to offer? Does my heart break for that? Am I greatly distressed by that? And then number two, am I bold? Do I have that kind of courage? I mean, look at what he's being confronted with. And he still shares the message. What would it look like as we walk into our day to to have that boldness, to have that confidence in who our God is, as opposed to fear of whatever it is we see in the world around us? Do we have that courage, that boldness? It's my prayer that as we move through this month, that will begin to develop or further develop in us as we sit with this story, that our heart would be distressed by what we see around us, and that with great boldness we communicate the truth of the one who loves us most. Have a great month.